What's up, gamers? A little while back ago I did a review for Sonic Adventure 1 DX, and I actually found myself really enjoying the game. So how do I feel about its direct sequel that most people consider to be a better game? Let's find out. Just to get this out of the way, I am once again playing this game through the Steam version. This game's opening movie actually makes sense this time around, which is kinda awesome. We get to see all these different characters who we're going to be playing as throughout the game. What, it's catchy. Yes, that's right. Once again, we have multiple storylines to play through, except this time, instead of 5 storylines, we only get 2. So this time we're going to be starting off with the hero storyline. The hero storyline starts off with Sonic getting arrested by the government, as all heroes do. This quickly turns into Sonic attacking the government, busting out of their helicopter and jumping off of it, as all heroes do. This turns into our first level, City Escape, and holy crap, this level is amazing. I don't think there's anything I can really fault this level on. The design is straight out of Crazy Taxi, and as we all know, that's one of the greatest games ever made. But the level keeps expanding and expanding, introducing new sections, including one where you get chased by a giant truck, like in Pepsi Man for PS1. Not to mention the music. Escape from the City is such a hype song that I used to listen to it before I even had played Sonic Adventure 2. Overall, all of this culminates to make what is probably one of the greatest first levels in gaming history. And time! Then we do a fairly boring boss fight against one of the government's robots, and afterwards a mysterious hedgehog named Shadow shows up. Apparently the government is confusing Sonic for Shadow. I mean, I guess they're both hedgehogs, but they don't really look very much alike, like, at all. I'd also at this point like to mention that the voice acting in this game is much better than in the first games, but by much better I mean not much at all, it's just slightly better.
The reason I'm in here is because of that fake hedgehog.
If I tell ya, will you marry me?
No way!
I thought I had you this time.
What the heck's going on here?
Don't worry,
no.
Mr. President.
What did you
Everything's
do?
under control. Just leave it to us. Got it, Tails?
I got it!
I found you, Faker.
Faker? I think you're the fake hedgehog around here. You're comparing yourself to me? Ha! You're not even good enough to be
I'll
my
make you eat those words.
Next we head over to the desert area where we see Knuckles arguing with a new character called Rouge the Bat. Rouge wants the Master Emerald and Knuckles is like, nah dude. Suddenly Eggman just comes in and picks it up. Knuckles flies up and punches the Master Emerald so that Eggman can't get it. So you know what that means. Time to treasure hunt as Knuckles for the Master Emerald pieces once again. So now let's really talk about Knuckles' levels and gameplay as a whole. As you might expect, it plays very similarly to Knuckles' levels from Sonic Adventure 1. However, there are a couple things that make these levels not as good as the ones in Adventure 1. Firstly, a lot of Knuckles' levels are way too big in this game. This makes finding the emeralds harder, yes, but it's also even more difficult due to the fact that the tracker only tracks one emerald at a time. Meaning, you could be right next to the emerald, or a key in this example here, and the tracker won't even go off because that's not what it's currently tracking. This means that oftentimes you have to do 3 laps through the level sometimes because the third emerald is in the beginning area the whole time and you didn't know it. It's also worth mentioning that, again, in this game, the locations of the emeralds are randomized every time you play the level. However, this is where my opinion gets a little bit weird, because I don't really hate these levels. I originally played through some of this game back before I had even done the Sonic Adventure 1 review. I wasn't planning on reviewing this game yet when I did that playthrough, and I hated Knuckles' levels. They would take me almost up to 2 hours sometimes just because of how confusing they were to me. On this playthrough, however, after I learned more about how the game worked, levels that would take 40 minutes took 6 minutes, and I really actually had fun playing these levels. Not to mention the music in all of these levels is top tier. I'm already pre-ordering Knuckles' new rap album. I mean, listen to these bars.
This is Knuckles, and I'm back. I've been away for a while, but I'm back to kick some butt in Wild Canyon. I shall find all the lost pieces of the Master Emerald here. Let it get to me, I'm just gonna creep allows me to feel. It's your main man Knuckles, and we're Meteor. You ready to go in space? Help me get the emeralds.
Okay, but there is one thing that confuses me, and it's this part in the song Death Chamber. Just take a listen.
I heard you on a quest for the master emerald. You know me and you don't get along. I don't think that's the point right now, Knuckles. I know how much the emerald means to you, and I want to help get it back. Stop being stubborn and think. Well, I guess you're right. You're damn right, Knuckles. I know Eggman's secret station's here somewhere. All we have to do is find it. I know we'll need a key to get inside. That's our only way to find it. So let's go.
Next, we get introduced to our final playable hero character, Tails. Wait, final hero character? Where's Big? What the frick? I know a lot of people were probably fine with seeing Big's levels gone, but like I said in the Sonic Adventure 1 review, they were actually one of my favorite parts of the first game. Oh well. At least with some of the playable characters from the first game gone, I don't have to worry about the awful high-pitched beep sound that I had to hear the entirety of Gamma's storyline last time. Oh, come the frick on! Yes, for whatever reason, this time around they decided to make Tails play like Gamma did in the last game. Generally speaking, I don't love this change. Gamma's gameplay always was kind of boring to me in the first game. Now I will admit that for Tails levels in this game, they actually did come up with some pretty good level design for this type of gameplay. But why did they have to keep the high-pitched beep in there? It's awful. Tails' gameplay is probably my least favorite out of the three, and not just because of the beep, but generally these levels were just less fun than the other two characters. And that just reminded me, I never actually talked about Sonic's gameplay as a whole, I only really talked about his first level. Sonic's controls in this game are amazing. The level design is clearly built around Sonic's mechanics, and every level that Sonic is playable in is a blast to play through. These levels are truly what you expect when playing a Sonic game, and I really don't have much else to say about it. They're just simply amazing. I guess a short summary of the heroes is their goal is to stop Eggman and Shadow and to rebuild the Master Emerald, because frickin' Knuckles. Really quickly, before we talk about the Dark storyline, I'd like to talk about the music. I very highly complimented Sonic Adventure 1's music, and it would be a crime to not give Adventure 2's soundtrack some love too. Almost every song on this soundtrack, whether it's Sonic's rock tunes or Knuckles' rap tunes or really anything in between, is amazing. And now let's talk about the Dark storyline. The storyline starts off with us playing as evil Dr. Eggman Robotnik, and he's breaking into a government facility. About 2 seconds into this level, and I realized Eggman plays exactly the same as Tails. Apparently, Eggman broke into this facility to acquire Shadow, the ultimate life form. However, just when things are getting good, we're gonna go switch to our first level playing as Rouge the Bat. Rouge plays the exact same as Knuckles, so I was very afraid to play these levels the first time since I wouldn't be familiar with the level designs. However, they weren't that bad. The only one I can say I really didn't like was Security Hall, where you only have a 5-minute timer to find all 3 Chaos Emeralds. This wouldn't suck if it weren't for the issue that I mentioned earlier that the tracker only tracks one at a time. And with such a strict time limit, it's not fair to expect me to find them all in such a short time. This level freaking sucks. Wait, is that... Big! I love this level! And finally, our last playable character is Shadow, who, naturally, plays the exact same as Sonic. His levels are just as fun as Sonic's, and that's really all there is to it. As for the plot, Shadow and Rouge's ultimate goals are to help Eggman get all 7 Chaos Emeralds to power up his Mega Cannon and take over Earth. Really quickly, I'd like to talk about the character battles in this game. You may remember that in the first game, I didn't really care for the character battles, because they would only last like 10 seconds and they were easy and pointless. This game, however, has outstanding character battles. Take this one between Rouge and Knuckles. It's all about the arena here. This arena is built so that these two characters can both use it in unique ways. At certain points, the middle opens up, creating wind, which can act as a new resource or obstacle. The amount that these battles have been improved since the last game is extraordinary. Oh yeah! And while we're cleaning up the loose ends here, this game also has a Chao garden, so here's all of my footage of that. Now we're gonna talk spoilers here, for both the hero story and the dark story, and then we'll talk about what happens in the last story that's unlocked after beating both. Through one way or another, all 6 characters, and Amy, end up in Space Colony Ark. After some boss fights, Rouge gives Knuckles the last Master Emerald pieces he needs to restore the Master Emerald. Sonic and Shadow have a showdown, and we actually end up learning that Rouge is an undercover spy working for the government doing research on Shadow. Anyway, Eggman gets all 7 Chaos Emeralds, and then his grandfather shows up on the TV and he's like,
screw you guys. I'ma crash the space colony into Earth, killing everybody. Pick me up a Baja Blast on the way back if you got time.
So all of our heroes have to stand together to stop that from happening. Then we play through this level where you play as every character except Shadow, Amy, and Yo, Big, let's go! Anyway, this underwater Knuckles section really sucks, and I kept drowning, and the entire level took me almost 2 hours, so that was cool.
Sam's gonna fucking pop off when he fucking does
You're gonna wake up
Well,
my
what's
house
sad
and
is
pick
that
up-
I'm not, because then I have to go to this other part that's killed me 14 times. Then Shadow decides to help out, because it's what this little girl that he lived in space with would have wanted. Dude, I swear these games make no sense. Anyway, Sonic and Knuckles use the Master Emerald to overwrite the power of the Chaos Emerald. But uh-oh, looks like this gross big snake thing guy is dead set on making Eggman's grandpa's dreams come true. Oh yeah, I also forgot to mention that this giant snake monster guy is apparently Shadow's biological brother. What? So Sonic and Shadow use the 7 Chaos Emeralds to go Super Saiyan and take down this idiot. This is the final boss, and it's freaking sick. Live and Learn by Crush 40 is in the background hyping you up. Switching between Sonic and Shadow to hit the boss, this entire setup is sick. It's just too bad that the hitboxes make no sense in this fight. Let me show you some clips of me hitting the boss. Simple, right? Now here's some clips of me missing the boss. What did I do differently here? I seriously have no idea. Anyways, eventually I killed the boss in probably the sickest way possible. And then Shadow dies. Yeah, that's how the game ends. Shadow dies and then the credits roll. So that was Sonic Adventure 2. Although I don't think I liked the game quite as much as the first one, it was still a really good game. I thought a lot of points where I had issues with the game were simply mechanical issues that haven't aged well. I think if they ever remade this game with more modern mechanics, it could really gain from that, so... But Timmy Changas, you didn't review the battle mode thing. I had this whole really cool idea for this like skit where I would play the multiplayer battle mode against like a toilet, and then like Big the Cat's voice would come in and give me like guidance and crap on how to beat this toilet and stuff. It was I had a lot of ideas brewing for this whole section, but I couldn't even get the multiplayer to work. I didn't have anybody to play it against. I couldn't even get 2 controllers to like connect to the game and work. So I figured I just wouldn't do it, so sorry about that, I guess, if anybody was looking forward to that. Maybe if I figure out how to get it to work, I'll release it as like a follow-up video or something. That's all I can really say. Anyway, join me next time when we review Sonic Heroes. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it.